Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So guys, let's get started. So first question, what we have in our mind, and that is like, what is Zabbix? So I will start from the scratch, and slowly I will, take it to the advanced level. So first fundamental, then essential, then intermediate, and advanced. So that way, those who are not aware of Zabbix, they will also be in a sync with that. So some of you are already aware of Zabbix fundamental and stuff like that. So please bear with us. But I'm sure you'll get something new as we progress, and then we'll get going. Also, guys, feel free to ask any questions you have, and I will help you in my way to accommodate those questions and queries. So this is your session, so you'll have to open to ask the questions and as such. Okay, so let's start with a question, and that is, what is Zabbix? And if you want to know what is Zabbix, we need to understand, we need to know the four answers for these questions. Actually, four questions we need to answer, and that these four questions, which includes where did it come from, and what does it do, what does the name mean, and why do we have it. These are the four questions. If you answer so, we'll have answers for what is Zabbix as well. So Zabbix is an enterprise class open source distributed monitoring solutions. Okay, I must tell you here, guys, nowadays, because you guys are working in the Zabbix and probably some other tools you may come across while working with it. For example, Datadog, New Relic, App Dynamics, and many other tools. So nowadays, we are not talking about the monitoring, but we are talking about the observability. Okay, now have a one personal notes for it, and the task which I'm asking to each one of you is like difference between monitoring and observability. You need to find it for me and then share with all of us. Okay, so this is the assignment which I'll give it to you at the end of it. So these questions you need to answer. Please have these notes. So now we are discussing about the monitoring, but in this today's world, we are discussing about the observability rather than monitoring. So what are the difference between monitoring and observability? You need to find out. So yes, Zabbix is a monitoring solutions. It's a open source. It's a distributed. It is a designed for the enterprise. Problems for monitoring the infrastructure, network, servers, and also that. So where did it come from? So Zabbix, the very first release, which is 0.1 version, is released in 2001 actually. Yes, 2001. But very much first stable version, which can be used for the any monitoring purpose and all, it got released in 2004, and that's a version 1. And today we are learning the most recent version, that is 601 version, and which is released in the March 1, 2020. That means this year only, this month only, it got released. By the way, which versions currently you're working on it?
5.
5. So now the question you be having, what is the difference between 5 and 6? So very minor difference, and this I will discuss. Difference between while upgrading and installations and all stuff like that. Okay, so V5. I'll discuss later point of the time. Right now, that's not a right time for it. Yes. So this company, the Zabbix company, which got established in 2005, and the founder, owner, CEO, his name is Alexei Vladisev. He's Russian, and his company is established in Europe and USA. So these are the something timeline which you can see, and you can understand the evolution of Zabbix. So in 2001, the first beta version of Zabbix 0.1 release. 2005, the Zabbix company is founded in Latvia. 2012, Zabbix office is open in Japan. Zabbix office is open in USA in 2015. 18, Russia, and 2020, Zabbix office is open in Brazil. So these are the timeline which you can take it up. Now the question you will ask, what is the meaning of Zabbix? What is the meaning of Zabbix? So if you name any software, you have to name, you have to give, you need to have some meaningful names also, right? So actually there is no meaning of Zabbix as such as per the owner of Zabbix. Here, Alexis was searching for some good name on the Alta Vista basically at that time, and he was not able to find anything as such. But suddenly he found Zabbix, and the Zabbix, he could not find any other reference on Alta Vista, which was a Google for that time, and he named it. So there's no background, reason for this name actually. So yeah, this is just a name which was resulted ad hoc basis, and he opted for it. He is the founder and CEO and owner of Zabbix. Okay. Now, I just said Zabbix is an open source product. Okay. So yes, you can see the code and you can modify the code also based upon your requirement. Now, the question is, where do you get a code from? So here is the locations from where you can download the code and you can check it out, all the stuff. So git.zabbix.com and followed by that URL. So yes, Zabbix is a free software. Okay, it's released under JNU, General Public License version 2. Okay, Zabbix is open source software. Again, it's written in C. Now which part of the Zabbix is written in C? So Zabbix server is written in C. Zabbix proxy is written in C. Zabbix agent, the one which we have older version. Agent also 2 version we have. You can see agent and agent 2. So agent, the version 1, which is written in C, and agent 2 is written in Go. Now we have a front end also. Front end is website that is written in Java, and there is one utility which has been written that's called Java Gateway. That is written in Java. So that is the pretty much information about which language has been used. So if someone will ask you, okay, Zabbix is written in which language, you can immediately say yes, a C, combination of C, Go, PHP, and Java. And because C, Go, PHP, and Java, all these are cross-platform. So that means Zabbix you can install in any platform. But let me tell you here, Zabbix server you cannot install in Windows. You have to install in Linux server itself. And that's a website which you have here, www.zabbix.com. Okay, so did you have a little bit of fundamental information about what is Zabbix, where did it come from, and all this blah blah blah? Probably you'd like to know, and that is why we need Zabbix, correct? Why we need Zabbix, and this is pretty much lots of information. Let me tell you here a few questions I'm going to answer as part of this discussion. If you ask me, okay, what is a Zabbix feature? If you ask me what are the Zabbix advantage? If you ask me why do we need to use Zabbix? Okay, so these are the questions will be answered in this session, these sections of this discussion. So why Zabbix? So basically simple, Zabbix can monitor literally anything. I repeat, it can monitor. I repeat, it can monitor. I'm not saying it can set up a observability. So question will remain same for your assignment. You'll have to answer, and where you're going to publish that answer, I'm going to tell you at the post lunch. I'm going to share with you. So yes, the question which I asked, what is the difference between monitoring and observability? But right now discussion is all about monitoring. So monitoring, Zabbix can monitor anything. Zabbix can monitor networks, servers, cloud, applications, servers, services. web monitoring, storage devices, virtual machine, Java application, database, literally. So we need to monitor these services, applications, servers, devices, and all. So we need to, and Zabbix is very suitable for it. Okay, so these are some of the other reasons you want to understand. So yes, Zabbix is one of the tools which is existed from last 20 plus 1 years. Okay, it's 100% free and open source software, and worldwide 3 lakh installations plus installations has happened, and these are some of the regions we should use Zabbix, but it's not convincing region, correct? So these are some of the global brands who's using Zabbix for their monitoring infrastructure, service, and blah blah blah. But what other regions which we have with Zabbix? So we are using Zabbix, or we are learning about Zabbix. So yes, so Zabbix has a very powerful matrix collection capability. Okay, problem detection capability, alerting mechanism, data visualization, single pane of glass dashboard, business monitoring, integration with 200 plus tools, easy integration when I say, security for the enterprises deployment and scalability. Now, these all points, metric collections, problem detections, alerting, data visualization, single pane of glass, business monitoring, integration, security, deployment, and scalability, we are going to understand and discuss in a little bit of detailing actually. Okay, so let's start with the metrics collection. Okay, so Zabbix can help you to metrics to collect the metrics literally from the any source. Okay, so collect the metrics from any source such as network devices. You can collect the metrics and store in the Zabbix. Cloud services, containers, like someone was talking about the Kubernetes, Docker, and all stuff like that. Virtual machines, OS level monitoring, you can do that. You can monitor the log files also. You can monitor the database, applications, services, IoT sensors, Internet of Things sensors, web page monitoring, HTTP endpoint, HTTPS endpoints that's coming under the synthetic monitoring. Support a full range of industry standard protocol and APIs also, and external APIs. So basically, yes, why we are using Zabbix? This is one of the reasons. Okay, now it has also flexible metrics collections. Flexible metrics collection means both the model is allowed. That means we call it a push model and pull model. That means Zabbix server, you can push the data, you can push the metrics, or Zabbix server also can pull the metrics. So both the things are there. So it's flexible. Also, you can set many things. For example, while collecting the metrics, you can set minimal polling interval is 1 second, or you can set it. Schedule of metrics collection, you can do that. Ability to override polling interval for a specific time period, you can set it up. Data throttling for high frequency monitoring, also you can do that. Okay, also you can collect the multiple different kind of data also, metrics data. For example, metrics which is the numeric kind of data, or metric which is represented in the text format, binary format. You can take it the data from the JSON, XML, CSV, and other data formats also. Okay, in fact, you can also collect the metrics from the log files also, collect and filter log entries also. So these are the one of the more reasons you should, and you are learning Zabbix. Okay. Another reasons like a Zabbix metric collection using Zabbix agent, okay, which is a very powerful part of the Zabbix. Okay, so Zabbix agent has so much of features. You can see that here. You using the Zabbix agent, when you collect the data and store in the Zabbix server, okay, it has some of the advantage like negligible performance overhead, push and pull data delivery is possible, flexible scheduling intervals, easy to extend with plugins. That means you can extend the Zabbix agent capability and add some external script or some plugins also, some custom code also. Okay, you mean to communication problem in memory or disk data buffering. Backward compatibility is there. Okay, and on top of that, access to Windows WMI and performance counter can report to multiple Zabbix server for reduced redundancy and HA. Okay, HA high availability will set it up maybe fourth day and so on. strong TLS and shared key encryption for communication. Means secure agent, Zabbix agent you can set up for the secure data communications also. Okay, and you can deploy the Zabbix agent in a different format, different operating system, Linux, Unix. You can deploy from the source also, and many things. And all the platform is supported. So this is one more reason, like Zabbix agent is having lots of advantage for it. Okay, you can use Zabbix for matrix collection using without a agent, without a Zabbix agent also. Yes. So that's called agentless monitoring. That means Zabbix support whole range of various protocol for remote monitoring of services. So that means you don't need to have all which Zabbix agent. You can you can collect the metrics and store in the Zabbix server using the agentless also, such as web monitoring, some script like synthetic monitoring, SNMP, Java application monitoring, IPMI, SSH telnet check, OBC monitoring, ICMP, TCP check, Prometheus also easy to extend using external scripts or plugins, collect data from HTTP endpoints and many more. Okay, Prometheus is one of the more popular tools also, which is you can compare with Zabbix versus Prometheus. So if you have some extra time in the evening after the training, you can compare these two tools, Prometheus versus Zabbix. Yes. So you don't have to have a only agent. You can be agentless also. Now, these are the setups also we'll do during the demo and lab. That means, for example, how can we gather the metrics using agent, and how can we gather the metrics using SNMP or Java or IPMI, or maybe you can do that synthetic monitoring using ICMP or TCP check. Okay, so these are the setup we'll do. I'll show you the demo. We'll have a lab also. Yes, so metrics collection can be done through the synthetic monitoring also. So emulate real life transaction with synthetic monitoring. So synthetic monitoring help you with creation of complex scenarios for reliable monitoring of web application and API. So yes, it is allowed. Zabbix allowing you to set up synthetic monitoring also. Now the question you must be having, some of you, what is a synthetic monitoring? How can we set up a synthetic monitoring? How can we configure and all stuff like that? So this we'll discuss in the demo. Synthetic monitoring probably third day we'll discuss. Okay, but yeah, for time being, Zabbix support synthetic monitoring mechanism to collect the metrics. Custom collection methods also can be coded. Yes, because Zabbix is open source, agent is also open source. These codes are available, so you can write your custom method also. Though integrations are lots of integrations already has been developed for Zabbix from last so many years. But let's say for your product itself, your product, for that the integrations will not be available. So for that you can write your own integrations to collect the metrics. So extend your monitoring by implementing custom data collection method, and Zabbix data collections can easily extend using CLI utility for pushing any data, external script written in any scripting languages, custom agent plugins written in Go or modules written in C also it can be used. Let me tell you here, we have a two version of agent. Agent 1, which is written in C, agent 2 version, which recently got introduced, which is written in Go. Okay, and synthetic monitoring also. And you can, on top of it, you can do data transformations also. Data transformations means what? So there are some sort of data you are collecting it, but you don't want to store the same data in a Zabbix server. You want to transform the data. For example, lots of data which is coming, which is, let's say, CPU data which is coming from the server. Okay, but rather than you are copying the data and storing the server, you are transforming the data. So transforming means you are saying, hey, I want to store the data of CPU, all the sum of the CPU or average of the CPU in the last 5 minutes or last 2 minutes or last 10 minutes, like that. So you can also, whatever the metrics you are getting, you can transform also. You typically we say normalize and transform any kind of data before storing it. Okay, so that also is possible. Okay, so yeah, that's so why Zabbix? The reasons are, some of the reasons are like Zabbix allows you to collect data from any source. It is flexible in terms of mechanism of collecting the data. You have an agent, you have an agentless, you have a synthetic monitoring, you have a custom collections method also, and you can transform the data in terms of metric collection. So Zabbix is powerful. Okay, are we understanding? Any questions so far?
Yes, I have one question. Basically, when we talk about the extend monitoring plugins, that is available free. Otherwise, we have to invest in it, or we have to create that plugin.
Let me put it in this way. Any tools, because Zabbix is a very old tool and it has a lots of history of evolutions. So any tools which is a publicly available tools. I'll give you example. For example, MySQL, Postgres, Apache, Tomcat, or let's say some other tools which is publicly available. Everyone knows and everyone is using that. So for those, these plugins will be available free of, available already coded, and you can find these plugins on the GitHub or any other sources. Some of the plugins they have incorporated in Zabbix also. So it's like that. But let's say some of the plugins, some of the source which they cannot write. In fact, community cannot write. For example, your product itself, and you want to send some of your metrics from your product, from your application which you are running. I said application, not Tomcat, not Apache, not Nginx, not MySQL, not this one. These are the public application. The application I'm talking about, yours application, the one which you are offering services to your client. So that if you want to collect that metrics, so for that you have to write some plugins. It can be written in Go, C, some scripts, some commands, and all. It can be done. API also supported, so it's possible.
So it's a kind of sort of template because we have very less knowledge. So we are trying to compare it with the template. So are you trying to say that the plugin is a kind of template, or there is a different mechanism or different setup has been there which we need to install on the Zabbix server?
If you want to correlate, actually plugin, basically you can correlate the items of template. Okay. So here you can correlate some or not completely. Items means there is a capability, and using that you are collecting the data and transforming it and storing it. These are the three things. Understand this? Three phase. One is like collections, forwarding, transforming, and storing. So these all process. For that, you can write a plugins. You can incorporate. For forwarding, you can use an agent. But for collections and transformations, you can use a plugins. So Zabbix has lots of inbuilt plugins already enabled. For example, I'll give you example. Agent, Zabbix agent, which basically collects the data from the servers. Agree with me?
Yes.
Agree with me? Now, what information, what metrics it collects, how we define, what metrics it collects from the Linux server or Windows server, how we define? Tell me.
So with the terms of template in the sense items.
And templates has something which is logic, which basically which helps the collecting the data from that particular agent with the help of agent. So that is called item. Okay, so we'll get into that also, and we'll discuss more and more into that also.
Thanks.
Yeah. So for time being, yes, your applications for that agent will not be knowing anything about it. Your application agent has no idea about it. What metrics you expose, where do you expose, and all stuff like that. And how can we transform the data if it is available? Those are the information not available. For that, you can do with the help of plugins or script or stuff like that. So when you write a plugins, you have to incorporate in an agent, or you can write a script also and store in the database of in Zabbix and stuff. Command line also, API is also available. Synthetic monitoring from the web and HTTP is also available. Okay, so now second region after the metrics collection is a problem detection. Okay, so let's say we have collected the metrics. So much of metrics we have collected, but how do you define what are the problems we have in our infrastructure? Because once the metrics collections is done, then all the data you will be having in the Zabbix server. Now, how do you identify which metrics is having problem and which metrics is not having a problem? How do we set that? So in the Zabbix, we have very advanced mechanism to create a problems, and we can do through smart threshold. Okay, so here you can define smart problem threshold in Zabbix server. So once the data, the one which you are getting in the Zabbix server, which match with the threshold, so automatically it will become a problem. So it will convert into problems, and you can get to know about that. Okay, so yes, high performance problem detection in real time is possible in Zabbix. Highly flexible definition options are available. Separate problem and problem resolution conditions. You can do that. Multiple severity labels. You can manage it. You can also do the root cause analysis of that particular problem using Zabbix. You can do the flapping protection. You can do anomaly detections also, trend predictions also, future prediction, trend prediction. Detected problems can be classified using tags for smart alerting modes. And you can export these problems to the third-party tools, such as Elastic and Splunk. Now, Elastic, when I say, understand this, Elastic is a company name, and company has a multiple product. Elasticsearch is one of them. Logstash is one of them. Kibana is one of them. So yeah, when we say Elastic, basically Elasticsearch here we are talking about. And Splunk is also like one of the, it was one of the log aggregation tool, log analysis tools, but now it's an observability platform. So here when we say Splunk database we are saying. Okay, so yes, after getting the metrics, Zabbix has a lots of method in which you can define a threshold to detect the problems. Okay, you can also set the trend predictions also, and machine learnings also it can be enabled. Okay, you can also set up the machine learnings and automatically give you the predictions about, okay, this kind of issues you may have. It depends on the data from last 1 month or 1 year or whatever it is. So yeah, these are the problem detection mechanism we have. Now in the Zabbix, we have a very advanced alerting systems also. Okay, so alerting systems which we have in Zabbix, we have a multiple channels, messaging channels, which is supported. For example, one of the very popular channels which we are using every day and night, that's an email. But yes, for alerting, Zabbix support SMS also. Okay, Zabbix supports VectorOps also. Zabbix supports Genian PagerDuty also. Nowadays, we are using a chat, for example, Slack, or maybe MS Team, or maybe Telegram, or some webhooks also it can be used. So yes, in Zabbix for alerting, we have a multiple messaging channels. Okay, you can also customize the alerting message also. That is also options are available in Zabbix. You can also set the escalations scenarios. So some of the options can be, some of the alerts can be ignored, or maybe set the high priorities, or maybe you can escalate to the particular different teams. Let's say if this issue is coming, then inform to this team. If this kind of issue is coming, you can inform to that team. So like that, you can create a scenario. So yeah, define escalation scenarios of varying complexity depending on the required workflows, from simple notification and escalation to different users, to delayed notification or automatic issues remediations. So this also you can done you can do that. In fact, in Zabbix, you can also set the automatic remediations also. That means if the issue is automatically fixed, it will automatically resolve the issues automatically. Nothing has to be done. For example,
along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and thousands of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.